Right, here I have my insect and I'm going to embellish it a little bit. Now, a word of warning everybody, there are many learners that will rush to the front where your bits and pieces are and gather as much as they can and use 10% of it and the rest will end up on the floor, or they'll try and cover up their work. So what I do suggest is that you give them all a little tray. These were donated, or some polystyrene thing. And if they bring their own things, that's fine. If they don't, I'm going to suggest at this age, which is grade 5, I'm going to suggest that you stand with them as they choose their pieces carefully. They can always come back and then tell them to bring their items that they don't use back. So that is the first tip. Monitor the gathering. The second tip is you are going to find the most beautiful effects, artifacts on your learner's work. And then you go and say to them, okay, now we're going to adorn the piece, embellish the piece, enrich the piece with these things. And you get some learners who will come and gather a whole lot of tea leaves and cover their insect with something. So you can't see all the beautiful work that they've done underneath. So some of them tend to think that by going on to the next level means covering up. So you need to say very, very carefully and clearly that no, it actually means just adding a little bit here and there. Now I'm going to give you some ideas. On my particular grasshopper, I would like to think about putting a button as an eye. And then I've got a few sequins here. So possibly bling it up a little bit. And as I did say, there are those few learners, and often they are highly sensitive children and often very creative, that don't like bling. Quite amazing, because I love bling. So just remember that as teachers, you are often going to have different tastes to the learners, and you have to learn to recognize the different types of works that are going to come up. And the longer you do it, the more you will realize that. And then I've got these little things that were donated, and I'm going to imagine that these are dewdrops sitting on my leaf. They've already got stick to them. If you don't have fancy donated things, there's no reason why you can't cut out little bits of tin foil or anything to create the same effect. There we go. So I've got a little bit of added detail there. Okay, and then quite honestly, I wouldn't actually add that much more. I mean, all we're doing, we don't want to overkill. Just an idea. That's quite a nice idea, because then this shiny bits is talking to another bit of shiny. So there we've got some added detail to the grasshopper. Let's see if I can turn it around. And there you get an idea of added detail for this one. The butterfly that I started already has some added value. As you can see, I cut pieces out from magazines and I stuck these pieces on. So that already creates something different. And then one really can go wild with butterflies because they are so colorful. So we could decide, okay, we're going to put some sequins around. I mean, really, there's no limit to the beauty of butterflies, to the color, should I say. So talking a little bit about gluing, I do want to mention that you're going to need a fairly good glue, something like a wood glue or cold glue, because if you use a Pritt stick or something like that, it's not going to work. They are going to fall off. And often the white craft glues also just aren't strong enough for things like buttons, etc. So I'm going to suggest that you put the glue, you might want to put it in a little container like this or in a jar. And if you don't want it to be too messy, you could always supply the learners with some earbuds. And then it's just a case of dipping your glue, your earbud in the glue and gluing on the sequin. So I'm going to work a little bit further on this one, and I will be taking a photograph of them. But as I say, not adding too much. They already are really enriched. I mentioned this one before. This is the fly, and I used some tea leaves to make it look like kind of earth, some plastic for the wings, some tin foil for the body, and I could put some pipe cleaners as feelers. And here I've used some, oops, that needs a bit of glue. So this needs clear glue rather than the white cold glue to make wings and to add value to the wings. And then something that is relatively inexpensive is glitter glue, and this I could add some value to the body, for example. So even if you've only got a bit of glitter glue, even if it's 1 or 2 colors, gold or silver, you can actually add a little bit to the insects just to give them that little bit of shine. Okay, so I'm going to leave you to add some value to your insects with found objects, and I'm going to work a little bit further on these. And I'm going to say goodbye for now. I hope that you have enjoyed this course. I hope that you've learned a lot, and I hope that you're going to carry all these learnings into your next artworks. There is so much more to share, so much more to tell. So I hope that you're going to be joining us in the next series of videos. Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you then. Goodbye.